Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Tennessee State STEAM Festival. I am Megan Spanauer. I'm the one that has been emailing you back and forth for the last couple months. And I'd also like to introduce my colleagues here, Dale and Jerry, and they'll introduce themselves as well.
Hi, I'm Dale McCready. I'm the Vice President of Audience and Community Engagement here at Discovery Center.
And I'm Jerry Hasselbring, and I am Museum Experience Analyst here at Discovery Center.
And so thank you so much for coming today. We're really excited to have everyone here. We're excited to tell you about STEAM, and we hope that you are as excited as we are just learning about it, and we're just really glad that you are going to become involved with us. So what is STEAM? What does it stand for? It is science, technology, engineering, art, and math. And it encompasses so many things.
You need to put up the slides.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Let's put up some
One moment.
slides for you.
Let's check and make sure they can see them.
Yeah. Share my screen with you so you can see our slide.
Can we get rid of the
There's a little inside here.
Yeah. Yeah.
There we go. So you should be able to see our
Can they tell us in the chat when we do something?
if you guys want to let us know in the chat box if you can see our screen here.
Awesome.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Great. Thank you so much. So just to tell you a little bit about the history of STEAM Festival, it started in 2017. It was founded by Discovery Center, and it was started as a part of the Discovery Center's 30th anniversary as a gift to the community. It goes way beyond the walls of children's museums. We go out into the communities. It's statewide, and it's really about interacting and engaging with the community and letting everybody know the importance of STEAM and what we can do to celebrate that. So this year is Discovery Center's 35th birthday. So we're kind of coming around full circle here, celebrating again. 2020 was mostly virtual, so this year we're trying to get back into the community and to just be involved in person again. Oh, just a second, we've got a question and answer here. Oh, we can see. All right, thank you, Carlos. And so our agenda for today, we have a STEAM Festival overview, which I just went over. We are going to go over the vision for our 2022 STEAM Festival, examples of past events, Discovery Center expectations and support that you can receive, and then we'll have a question and answer session. So why a STEAM Festival? Well, it's everywhere, every day for everybody. Again, like I said, it's science, technology, engineering, art, and math. It is connecting curiosity to careers, and it's really about workforce development throughout the state. We cater to families, kids, adults, young adults. We are trying this year to progress to all ages, and we are providing a learning experience for the STEAM Festival, and we're also highlighting local STEAM-focused businesses, nonprofits, organizations around the state. And then just to let you see a little bit the visual here, we've got a video that will give you a glimpse. All right, so and that was, as you can see, that was a recap of our 2019 STEAM Festival. And Jerry is going to go over some of the numbers with you.
Yes, going back to 2017, we actually look at East, Middle, and West Tennessee. We track events, event hosts, and attendance, of course, is important. So you can see we started out in the first year with 79 unique events. And I will say that when we started this, we did not know we were going to go statewide in the first year. We really thought it was going to be more local, but that changed pretty quickly. So as you can see, every year up until 2020, there was a lot of increase. 2019 was a banner year for us. And we really want to go back and exceed what we did in 2019. And with your help, we should be able to accomplish that. So in planning for 2022, right now, as of today, we have interest from 21 counties. Now there's 95 counties in the state of Tennessee. We certainly would like to expand into more counties. We really want to be a presence in a lot of rural counties in Tennessee because they have STEAM opportunities as well. Right now we have 55 interested partners. And these are some things we're planning. For the first time, we're working with some local artists to do a lantern parade. You may be familiar with some of these. There's a huge one in Atlanta that gets about 60,000 participants, in which families or individuals, with the help of maybe their schools or maybe some local artists, create a lantern and they light it, and then in the evening they have a wonderful parade. So we're looking here in Murfreesboro to recreate that. Discovery Center last year launched a STEAM-a-Palooza as our local large event, which was very successful for the first year. People were, organizations, schools were invited to have a booth. And so what you see there on the right are some robotics that was happening here at Discovery Center. And we had about 200 visitors that day. So we're hoping to increase that. So that's one of our local events. That could actually be recreated elsewhere. We're also trying to organize a statewide star party. There's a group here in the Nashville area that does star parties. People do them all across the state, actually. But we like to have one event that was all at the same time, the same night, have a really great impact. whether it's in state parks or local parks. So we're working with a local expert here to try to organize that. So there's lots of ways that people can participate. So we have done virtual programming, especially the last couple of years. Many historic sites have done STEAM events because STEAM goes way back. Technology goes way back to the very beginning of time, actually. We've worked a lot with colleges and universities, local school districts. One year, our city school district here in Murfreesboro did a STEAM walk at all their schools. They all participated, and it was for families. Libraries have been big and wonderful partners throughout this. We've had artists, we've had musicians, of course, zoos, aquariums, nature centers, farms. Down the right-hand corner, we did a pumpkin chunkin with the local farm. Special needs centers, certainly clubs and nonprofits like Boys and Girls Clubs, for example. Theaters, we partnered with a local theater and did a Science of Fear Friday the 13th movie showing. And then we found a professor who did a talk to the crowd about fear and did some hands-on things on stage. It was a big success. Certainly businesses, local entrepreneurs. We've done some things, arcades and virtual reality. An arcade here, Murfreesboro, also had a bowling alley. We did, bowling for STEAM. Rec and community centers, of course, camps and retreat centers that are taking place across the state. So, past programs and events, we've had 1800 science fair at historic site, a star party in the vineyards, mentioned Science of Fear. We worked with university about fastball physics with their baseball team. Science of the Circus, we have someone who is an aerialist who did a great session and had about 250 people show up for that one. It was really fun. Virtual reality, cooking with kids. I believe that was done at a botanical garden. I mentioned the bowling off STEAM. Robots, the Sumo Bot Smackdown was very popular at the Palooza event. Our local parks have done things with animal tracks and animal signs. And Reelfoot Lake did a sunset canoe float, which we hope can get repeated this year.
So my turn, and some of you I know have been involved in the past, and hopefully you saw some of your events on there, and some of you are brand new, so hopefully this is not too repetitive, but I think to share it with you, our vision of 2022, and both Megan and Jerry have mentioned this already, we of course want to grow. We want this to grow and grow and grow, be across the state, reach all audiences, all sizes, really expand. So if you're on this call and when you get off this call, you still don't have an idea or a thought, know that we're here to help you think that through. We want to broaden and engage all ages. There are certainly pockets of audiences that we do really well with and some that we don't have as many activities for. So it'd be really great to really think about that intentionally. And ultimately, we want to go ahead and continue to enhance the public awareness about how science, technology, engineering, art, and math is all around us in our world every day. And again, many of these events really make the relevance and the obvious nature of STEM being around us really obvious. And that's what we're really looking for. The benefits of participation are that you get statewide recognition and visibility. We do publish booklets that we distribute, and there's of course our online website as well. So it really is an opportunity to enhance your recognition, to show people all around you what you do in the ways of science, technology, engineering, art, and math, and to do it for free. We put you in here with no cost. It's an opportunity to engage new audiences. We have many partners who have said they hadn't ever reached a certain audience before until they did this event, and so we're participating in the festival, and so that's also an opportunity. And then again, showcasing the importance of STEAM of value as well as having fun. And I think really having fun should be first. We really are excited about finding ways to have fun with STEAM and to find ways to engage and interact where you live, where you play, where you work. So our expectations are not extensive. Again, this is free to you. We expect you to promote. We provide some media kits. We provide strategies for leveraging networks. We want you, first of all, to submit an event form so that we can identify you and eventually list you and be able to clarify what you're doing. We do ask that you track your data. You know, who's coming? We will ask you, we will bug you, in fact, to say how many people came to your event and your program for that hour or that weekend or that webinar. It's really any approach you take, we really need to understand, because as Jerry pointed out in that early slide with the numbers, this is all about trying to understand what our reach is, the fact that we're asking about these numbers. So if we can identify who we're reaching, that's really helpful. And then we also expect you to advertise as part of the STEAM Festival, right? So you all can certainly tap into events you're already doing during the time period of the festival, but we would love you to say, yes, we are doing this in partnership with the Tennessee STEAM Festival. I think in some cases, it's not always obvious. Folks come and they come to your location and do wonderful things all the time, and so it's really important to call that out. So that's something we'll really ask you to do, and part of that will be easier. We can, you know, provide some flyers and things that you'll be able to either print or get from us. And of course, having booklets on site helps as well. But we can help you think more intentionally about that. The bottom line is that we are here to support you and to support this project. So if you need ideas from the early onset, if you need a partner for something, you have a space where you have a thing to do, but you don't have the two together, we're happy to talk with you and really to help you think about that. We're also happy to think about how you might track who comes to your event, how you promote the fact that you're a partner. So these are all things that are important as we try to grow this and eventually get some substantial funding for all this, which would also be really fantastic to grow it.
And I was just going to add here about the leveraging your networks. I mean, wouldn't it be great if you bring along a friend? That's how we grow. It's a word of mouth thing. And if you have a great idea and then you say, hey, we're going to do this, why don't you do this? That will eventually blossom and help this festival grow. You might look at the questions while I'm doing this. So there's a bunch of questions. So the event submission form is what the next thing you would need to do to fill this out. It's fairly short. We ask for a short description, what type of event, and the events, it's hard to see on that form, and I can't read it either, but the event types are whether it's indoor, and you can check any or all of these. Well, not all of these, but most of them, indoor, outdoor, virtual, hands-on, a talk or demonstration, a tour, a performance, or something else we haven't even thought about, right? So those are all, and there's another line. So those are all options that you can be thinking about, and then you would provide that information when you fill out your submission form. The location, date, and time, this is all in your hands. Again, we'll help you, but these events can be at your site, at a partner site that you have. You get to pick the date and time within the 10-day frame of the festival, and you get to tell us when it is. And we will, again, we list it in the booklet. We break down East, West, and Middle Tennessee in here. People can find easily where events are happening. And then you can also identify the target audience. If it's for families, is this for adults only? We have events at wineries, only adults, right? We have lots of different, you may have a pre-K audience and you're doing a special book reading and activity in STEAM for pre-Ks. Whatever it is, you get to target the audience, and we try to communicate this all really well through our website and through our booklets and other social media as well. And then one of the big questions is, can we charge? Do we charge? We'd love to have all of this for free, but we also appreciate that's not possible. So again, this is something you decide.
It is not unusual to have a lot of free events, but it's also not unusual to have some events that are fee-based. You know, you have to pay to get into the museum, some museum, but you can take the workshop for free or whatever. Again, it's all spelled out very clearly in the booklet, and we basically reflect what you tell us. So again, this is really you in control of your event, and really shaping this. And then you will submit this event submission, we'll review it, we'll get back to you, say all is well. If there's any sort of issue for any reason, we'll get back to you, we'll have a discussion. But it's really, it's a fairly simple online form that you can complete.
And I see that we have some questions in the chat, and I will address those very soon, right after this slide, just to tell you a little bit about the program booklet. So we have this booklet that Dale mentioned earlier, and we put every single event and event host in it. We put the times, dates, we put descriptions about them, and we also divide it by east, middle, and west, so that say you have someone who lives in Nashville or Murfreesboro, they might want to quickly see what can I do this week or this weekend that is in Middle Tennessee or for West or East Tennessee. And also something exciting and new this year is we are going to be putting ads in the guidebook, and that is a chance for you to, in addition to your event, you can put an ad in there to
For anything.
for anything really, like just some way to highlight your business or your organization. And so that is, if you are interested in that, we are still planning that out a little bit. But go ahead and email me if that's something that you think that you'd be interested in. And I think that is.
All right, one more thing I just thought of while you're switching slides. This year, for the first time in many years, we overlap with Lights On After School. So I don't know how many of you work with after school organizations, but this is a huge opportunity to partner with your local after school programs and cross promote. Tennessee Lights On After School is usually a Thursday, but it's really all week and even overflows and sometimes, but it's a nationwide effort. And so I just throw that out for those of you who also are on this call that have partners that are in after school, and for those of you who are on the call that are in after school, reach back out to other folks involved in the festival, because I think this is a really easy win for a potential partnership for the week of the festival.
And I was going to add, talking about the advertisements. Say, for example, you're part of the STEAM Festival in October, but you've got a great holiday event coming up and you want to showcase that for your organization. Those were kind of the ideas we were thinking of for why it might be of value to put an advertisement. And remember that a lot of these things that we're doing are all going to be on the website, they're going to be in social media. So there's a really good chance of promoting what you're doing in your community.
But we probably should also add that there is a fee for the advertising.
Absolutely.
Everything else is free, but if you want to put an ad in, that's sort of our strategy for trying to cover some of the costs of the booklets. So so do know that there would be a fee for advertising, and you'll have to generate your own advertisement that would send, and you would send it to us. So I don't want to belabor that too much, but if it's of interest, let us know. Otherwise, everything, your events, everything else is free in the booklet.
All right, so let's address some of the questions, and if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat box and we will get to them. So we have a question from, let's see, we're scrolling down. Let's see, Natalie Sweet says statewide star party would be amazing for us as we talk about the stars as navigation and the Civil War and Underground Railroad. Definitely interested to hear about that. Thank you, Natalie. We will definitely get in contact with you about that. The Rutherford Arts Alliance says several others are waiting. Can you please send out this deck of information afterwards? Yes, we will do that, Susan. We're gonna send out a recording to everybody afterwards in case you missed it or want to go back over the Zoom call or anything. Jennifer asked what ages are appropriate. Really, it's extensive. You can go from preschool to kindergarten to grown adults. And yes, there are adult events. We had last year or in previous years, we had a star party at Arrington Vineyards, and I think was there anything else?
Yeah, that was adult that had arts and wine. And
Yeah,
issues,
arts and wine.
There's all
Really,
sorts of variations.
it's like age 3 to 103.
Yeah.
Really, it's really for anybody.
Yeah.
And there have been very, very academic webinars as well. So it's not meant to be sort of down one kind of lane. It's really, it can be hands-on, it can be anything really, anything that has to do with science, technology, engineering, math, or math.
Laura asks, do events need to be specific activities at a specific time, or is having a craft available between Thursday through Sunday an acceptable activity? And yes, it is. You can have something, so the STEAM Festival starts October 14th and goes through the 23rd. You can have an event every single day during those 10 days. You can have something just on the 14th. You can have something 3 days. You can have something just on the weekend. It's really up to you. It's very flexible. I think that answers that question. David asks, I would redirect to the Zoom meeting. Yes, we will have a recording of the webinar, and I will email it out to you, David. Kathleen says excited about the Star Party, because we always celebrate International Observe the Moon Night. So that's excellent. We will get in touch with you as well. And Megan asks, I worked at UT Space Institute in Tullahoma and would love to participate in the Star-wide Star Party. We have telescopes and an observatory on site and usually work with the local hands-on science center. And I know we do have the hands-on science center in our contact list. I believe I've sent them an email for the save the date. So we will also get in touch with you. And then Back to Rock asks, so it's possible to come for just one day of the festival instead of every day it's being held? Yes, that's correct. So you mentioned coming for it. So just to address that, the event is held at your location. We do have Steamapalooza, which is held here it'll be on October 15th, and the different vendors will set up booths, but anything else would be held at your location or anywhere where it's convenient for you. So it doesn't necessarily have to be in Murfreesboro at Discovery Center. It's statewide, so.
We might want to say, if you are local and you are thinking about the Palooza, you might reach out separately from this, because then we'll address local opportunities for the Palooza. Because we're talking with folks that are across the state, we just want to give that as an example, both the Palooza and the Lantern Parade as ideas that we're doing here, and would encourage you all to do your own special events as well. So those were just really models. The Sky Party, of course, Star Party is going to be coordinated across the state, just to be really clear.
And then Laura asks, can we advertise the activity but use our own marketing teams to do so instead of the marketing kits you send? I will let you guys answer that one.
I think we just might want to know, maybe get a glimpse of what you're planning to do, but I would imagine that would be fine.
Yeah, and I think ours isn't really that
Extensive.
extensive or dictatorial. So it's really about here sort of the hashtags you use. Here's the sort of strategies. Here's how you can do something on Facebook when we list your event, whatever. But honestly, we need you to promote this stuff. It makes us sad when people go to the hard work of having an event and no one comes, and we can't actually own that. We'll promote as much as we can, but it really also depends on you all to try to promote and get the word out. So that's really important. So yes, we would never discourage promotion, but we'd love to see what you're doing. Maybe we'll learn from you.
Jennifer asked, could you share more about your Steamapalooza? So I will send you a more information on that, Jennifer, but just to kind of go over it, it's a one-day event. It's on October 15th, a Saturday. It is in our parking lot here at Discovery Center. We have about, I think last year was our, we had about 20 booths set up, is that correct?
Yeah.
And there was artists, there was scientists, there was robot technicians, all kinds of stuff, and kids and families basically walked around to each booth and just it's all about demonstration. We want people to be able to show something or to learn something at the Steamapalooza.
We're hands-on.
And to answer Marcia Petty's question, it is free. So
It is free for people who want to have a booth unless they want to sell something.
yes.
And then there is a $50 fee if you are going to show, let's say you're going to show how to make soap and then you want to sell your soap, then we would ask you to sign up as a vendor and pay a $50 fee.
But just really to bang this home, because I know Megan used the word vendor too, this is meant to be every tabletop or booth or whatever you have that comes to the Palooza is meant to be hands-on and engaging, and it's not meant to be selling. So I mean, selling, if it's a sideline of, as Jerry said, we understand that. There may be reasons that kids do something and they get to buy it or whatever. But this is really meant to be a fully engaging, hands-on experience, and people will be rotating through the whole time. So it's not a workshop kind of a situation. You won't have people more than 5 minutes or 10 minutes, whatever. You know, it's sort of a flow through, but it's a really fun, a lot of science festivals or whatever, call them carnivals or whatever. Ours is called a Steamapalooza. So that's what that is.
So let's see, we might have a couple more questions here. Pinecrest asks if there is a date set for the Star Party. Not yet. We are still planning that. And we can give you some more information. It sounds like a lot of people are interested in that. And then the dates of the STEAM Festival Week is October 14th through the 23rd. I believe it starts on a Friday and ends on a Sunday.
Yeah,
2 weekends.
And then Ryan asked, the Murfreesboro Airport is looking to participate, but would like some assistance in planning to ensure we have a successful event. The city, fire, police, parks, and recreation could possibly be involved. Yes, that sounds great. And we definitely, I know, I believe Murfreesboro Airport has been involved before, so.
Parks and Rec definitely is involved, and we'll be happy to reach out with you and help you plan something.
Yeah. So that's all the questions I see. Does anybody else have any more questions? Oh, we have another one. From David, our monthly Science Cafe event is sponsored by a local Christian church. There's no religious influence on the science content. Would their sponsorship impact our ability? No, I don't believe so. I think I forgot to mention in the beginning was something we really want to be diverse with who we reach out to this year. We want to include everybody. We want anybody who's coming to STEAM Festival to feel like they have a place there and to feel like they're seen and heard. So on that note, we want it to be diverse. So
And I think once you fill out the submission form, and you give us the synopsis of what this Science Cafe is going to be about, and we will look at that. But for the most part, like Megan said, unless it's something really offensive, which I don't think it would be, but and of course that's a matter of opinion, I guess. But it should not be an issue.
Kathleen asked if there's a date for the Lantern Parade in Murfreesboro. We do not have a set date yet. However, we are looking to have it towards the end of the festival, maybe around the weekend of the 23rd. We're having one of the leaders who is going to be helping us with the Lantern Parade. She's going to actually be setting up a booth at the Steamapalooza to kind of start kids in thinking about creating those lanterns. And so we want the Lantern Parade to be kind of a close off celebration of the STEAM Festival. So we are looking at that last weekend.
And I think the only thing right now is the location.
Mhm.
And we have a location in mind, and we're trying to work that out.
The question just says 4, but is that it? You don't know that yet.
Let us know if you have any more questions. Give it a little bit more time if anyone has any more questions.
Linus was speaking.
So I think you are asking, Carinza asked who's speaking. I think you're asking about us. My name is Megan Spainhour. I am the events coordinator here at Discovery Center. And I am the one that's been emailing you incessantly, so you'll probably recognize my name.
I'm Dale McCready. I'm the Vice President of Audience and Community Engagement here at Discovery Center.
And I'm Jerry Hasselbring, and I'm the Museum Experience Analyst here at Discovery Center.
And together with a few other people, we are the Tennessee STEAM Festival team.
We are it.
So yeah, so happy to help you any way along the way. Oh yeah.
Yes, I will actually do that right now.
And by the way, while she's typing in her email, and I think Megan's probably the first person to reach out to, you should also know that there's a website that even shows information from the past, and it's tnsteam.org. So feel free to visit there, and that's actually where you'll find your registration, event registration form as well.
Keep the chat box open just a little bit longer in case anyone has any more questions. Seems like we've gotten some really great questions so far, and I hope it's gotten some ideas going on how you can participate and how we can work together with the STEAM Festival. I also did put my email address and the Tennessee STEAM website in the chat box. And my email is also on this last slide as well, if you'd like to connect. We'll give it a couple more minutes for any questions.
Thank you all for coming, by the way. And if any of you have done an event that you thought was just spectacular, you want to share, feel free to throw that into the chat box as well, because I know some of you are festival groupies, which is great. Which is great. So, if you have an idea that you're going to do that you think might stir other people's thoughts, feel free to throw it in there.
Let's see, any more questions? So if you do have any more that you think of, feel free to email me. And again, I'm Megan Spainhour, and this is Dale and Jerry. If you have any questions, email me, or you can, I'm sure you'll have my email.
Oh, look, Science Cafe, Knoxville is up there.
Okay, thank you.
Fantastic, David, thank you.
And thank you so much for everybody that participated and came to listen to us today. And I hope that this has gotten you excited and got some ideas rolling. And do you like to say anything before we close out?
I think spread the word to all of your friends, your networks. We want this to be a spectacular year. It's sort of that finally we can all be back together again experience. So
yes,
spread the word.
I guess the other thing we could say is though that we have some graphic bookmarks and things, and if you wanted to start promoting and could print those yourself, Megan can send them to you. So very colorful, just the date on there, some information about what it is. It would be great if you could start promoting now, because it may be that you're not promoting for partners or facilitators, but rather just guests that put it on the calendar. We just want to make sure all of this is really out there. The more momentum we get, the bigger and better this can be. So let Megan know, and she can send you any sorts of electronic versions of things. I'd be very happy to have you print them and share them.
All right, thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming.
Thanks.